Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the first 10 minutes on your Pioneer XDJ-RX, XDJ-RX2, XDJ-RR, whatever model that you have that falls under this kind of category. This is gonna be kind of the first intro to what you gotta expect and what the whole layout is, and just kind of running through quickly in around 10 minutes on what the whole gist of this thing is. So firstly, your power button, let's start this thing up, is just up here. So right now it's starting up. It takes rekordbox, so in order to play tracks, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to download rekordbox on your computer, and you're gonna have to use a USB, plug it in, optimize the USB for rekordbox use, and then load your tracks in there, let rekordbox analyze them, then export your USB, and then plug your USB in and you're ready to play. So the way you select the tracks is you either go to USB or USB 1 or USB 2. So you can use so you can also hit rekordbox and use it off your computer. But for this sake of this tutorial, we're gonna be just using my USB 1. So I have it all sorted into playlists, but you can just do it by track, so it'll sort everything alphabetically. You can also go to menu and sort it by default, alphabet, artist, album, BPM, rating, key, genre, anything that you want. Loading up the tracks, you either select one of these buttons or you just click it and you select which track or which deck you want to load the track onto. So essentially what DJs do is you have one track playing with your volume fader up so that the crowd can hear it, and in your headphones you are loading up the second track in your second deck. So for example, I'd have two tracks like these loaded up. So what I would be doing is in my queue down here, I would have my headphones plugged in, and then I'd select my channel 2 so that I can only hear this music and the sound coming out from this deck. Meanwhile, even though my fader's down. So what does that mean? That means I can play this track and hear it in my headphones without the crowd hearing it. So that's basically the whole gist of it. And so what you're doing when you're beat matching is you have your one track playing, you get to a certain point in the track, and you have your second track loaded up in the genre, in the same key, and in the same BPM. So right now they're off 126 and 123. So in order to adjust it, I'd have to go down to my pitch tempo and I'd have to slide it up or down. So in this case, I'd have to slide it up to 126 and then mix it from there. So that's the way you would do that. So now that they're both in the same BPM, I can mix it. So once I get to a certain point in this track, I can start queuing up my second track, hit play, and of course while all doing this with the volume fader down in my headphones. Once the two tracks are beat matched and on track with each other, and you can hear that both of the kicks are hitting through the mixing function on your headphone feature. Once those are to beat match, then you start bringing up your track, you mix it using your EQs. So if you need to cut out the low frequency or kind of turn down the high frequencies, then you can do that using the EQ mixers. So blending the two bass lines or cutting out certain bass lines so it doesn't fight with the other track in the mix, that's what this is used for. Then once that is all clear and taken care of, and you get to that other certain point in the track where you can switch the two tracks, that's when you bring down the track of the first one, and then from there you let the second track play out and then repeat. So you load your next track onto your first deck and you keep bouncing like that, vice versa. Another thing that we have on features is the beat effects. So we have delay, echo, spiral, reverb, trance, flanger, pitch, and roll. You can set that to deck 1, deck 2, or on both if you select the master. You can also select it for the mic. So if you want your mic to have a cool effect, then you can set it up for that as well. We have the time knob to adjust how much the beat effect affects the track, and then we have actually the toggling on and off of the actual beat effects. So then moving on to the other side, we have sound color effects. We have filter, crush, gate compression, and noise. these are a bunch of different effects that you use with the color knob. So there are these silver ones right here. So in order to toggle it, I'd have to press the effect and then use the corresponding color knob on whatever deck that I want to use it on. So if I want to use it on this deck, deck 1, I'd have to use this color knob. And if I want to use it on deck 2, then I'd have to use the color knob that is, you know, on the corresponding side. That's how you go about doing all these things. Next, we have the tempo and pitch sliders. So we have the tempo select here, so how much your tempo increases. You can select it here, and then from here you have the pitch sliders. So if you go down, so meaning you go up, then it slows down the track. If you go up all the way, it slides up. So from there, you align the tracks to be the same BPM for mixing. So let's say this one's 125 and this one's 124. I'd bump this one up to 125, or I'd bump this one down to 124. It depends on what track is playing. So if a track is playing, you don't want to be adjusting the pitch for that track. If you're going to be mixing in a track and you want to have it at the same BPM, by all means use the pitch and slide it up to whatever tempo that you need it to be. Then we have obviously the sync buttons. They're up here, meaning that you don't need to beat match. You can just hit the sync button and the tracks will lock onto each other, and so you can just easily, I guess, save time. But it's kind of like a little bit of cheating in my opinion, but you can do you if, you know, beat sync is something that you use. Then we have jog mode, vinyl, then we have the vinyl speed adjust. So when we hit play and then when we hit stop, that's the speed at which the vinyl, so the track stops. So right now I have it playing and you hear that it has that kind of stopping phase. So I can adjust it. So if I turn it up all the way, it'll start up super slow. And then if I want to stop it, it'll slowly slow down. So you can affect how much you want that to slow, speed up or slow down with the vinyl speed adjust. This is super cool and useful for transitions, for outro effects, for so many different things. So anyways, then moving on to the cue loops and the cueing up here. So say I wanted to just loop a certain part in my track, I'd have it playing, select the beginning of the loop, select the outro of the loop, and that's it. Now it's looping. I can do other cool effects, meaning I can do cool outro effects and things like that. Then, so if I have cues set already on my track, then I can go to and from those loops up here by selecting where I want to go to. Okay, so then we have direction reverse. So if I want my track to go in reverse, I can toggle it from there. Then I have slip mode. So it allows me to allow the track to play while I use effects and those sorts of things. And then obviously I have my cue and play buttons, which I use to cue up a track, and then I use to actually hit play on the track and let it play. Down here I have my hot cue, auto beat loop, and loop slice, so I can toggle and create hot loops down here. I can auto beat loop using effects, using the slip mode. It's more advanced techniques, but that's where I would do those. And then obviously I have my jog wheel platters. These are used to actually align the tracks together. So if my two tracks are off time, I can adjust one and slide it so that they're on time. Then we have the screen, which shows the beat waveform of the tracks, and it just shows what tracks are selected, BPM, all the details, and those sorts of things. Then up here we have the mic level adjusts. Then we have the master level and those things to adjust the volume of the actual gear and how it's heard on the speakers. Then down here we have the fader. So if I push it all the way to one end, only one track will be heard. If I set it to the other end, only one track will be heard. And then to the middle, only the middle track will be heard. So yeah, and then we have the volume fader, so that's used for mixing and letting one track either be heard on the speakers or let the other one be heard by adjusting these. So basically this is the quick rundown on the effects and everything that's on the XDJ-RX. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, make sure to subscribe and comment. And if you guys want one-on-one DJing lessons with me, there's a link down below. Sign up through that, and I'll see you guys through Skype or wherever we decide to meet for lessons. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.